ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नाम्ने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Can I get to see everybody?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. It will be nice to see people. I am more inspired to speak when I see people personally. Thank you for two of you who put on your videos. I'm also planning to put off my video because many others want to remain behind the screens. So I shall also speak like this, and then we will see how nice it is for a personal philosophy of Bhakti and love of God being expressed through impersonally through technology. And we also cut off the images that we see of ourselves. Jai Ho, Hare Krishna. I hope all of you can relish this. Yeah, please put on your videos. That's jokes apart. It would be good for you to put on your videos, and I really appreciate it. Only when I get serious, you actually put on your videos. I understand that. You don't like jokes. Hare Krishna, I hope all of you are doing fine. We are into chapter 15, Purushottama Yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Person. And it's an amazing, wonderful chapter that starts with Urdhvamoolam Adhashakam. We studied about the banyan tree and how it describes many things, the upside down, topsy-turvy world. And then Krishna got into describing reincarnation, and those who have eyes can see it, and those who don't cannot see it. And in this way, we moved ahead. And then Krishna, we came to the point where we read that Krishna is describing himself through nature. Yad Aditya Gatam Tejo. You can go to text 12. I think that's where we were. Yada Aditya Gatam Tejo Jagadbhashayate Akhilam Yat Chandramasi Yat Chagnahu Tattejo Vidhi Mamakam. The splendor of the sun which dissipates the darkness of the whole world comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also coming from me. You see, to understand everything that is present in connection with the Lord is one of the most important lessons. The world won't be suffering what it is suffering in terms of climate changes and tornadoes and floods and heat and ice caps melting and sea levels rising and everything going haywire, if only people understand everything in connection with the Supreme Lord. Krishna very clearly explains that all these things are his energies. And one who learns to love the Lord loves to learn expansions of the Lord through his energies. Prabhupada used the phrase, love me, love my dog. He's used that. He said, if you like me, you must like my dog. And he pointed to his devotees, his disciples, and he said, you love me, then you should also like them. In the same way, he said, if you like Krishna, then you'll automatically like his creation, automatically like others, his siblings on the planet. You don't want to harm anybody. This is the meaning of a yogi. A yogi is a person who's connected. When he sees the world, he sees it in connection with Krishna, right? And that is why he lives in reality. That's another shloka that says in the Bhagavatam, Krishna is telling Brahma from within his heart. It's called the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, 4 shlokas. In that, the first shloka says, Brahma, whatever you see in this world without connection to me does not exist. It's an amazing physics. I think it can give great research. The problem is, if we don't see it connected with the Supreme Lord, we'll see it is up for grabs. And then they take it up and they exploit natural resources and they, spoil the whole atmosphere. And they make it difficult for other living entities to live. Like now, the whole oceans are all polluted like nothing. Huge swarms of fishes are dying in many places. Species are becoming extinct at a tremendous rate. I heard some thousands of species are going off every week, never to come back again, because of the pollution being dumped into the ocean, into the rivers, because of the pollution of the air and many things. Like you don't see sparrows anymore, right? In India, right? My younger days, I see sparrows. It's very nice to see them in the morning tweeting, quaking and, waking you up and everything. You don't see sparrows anymore. And they told me it's because of, electromagnetic radiation, EMR, that's come out of all the phones and everything and the towers that's coming, that's just exterminated them. So the way man behaves, the most horrible species on the planet is the human being right now. Scientists and data very clearly indicates that these are the guys who have screwed up the whole planet. Why? Because you're totally God unconscious. So when Krishna explains this, Yadaditya gatam tejo jagat bhashyate akilam yat chandramasi cha agno yat tat tejo viddhi mamakam, he's doing it with great affection and love. You must see it this way. If you see it this way, which is really the truth, you will be saved from so many different types of difficulties and problems. So when Krishna describes, I am the sun, I am the moon, I am the this, I am the that, everything, don't think that he's blowing his trumpet. It doesn't need to blow his trumpet to a few chota guys, so minuscule people. He's not in any way competition to anybody. He's actually very affectionately educating. I'm your father, by the way. And all these are my creations for your sake. And it's very huge. So he's trying to put it very simply to us. He's putting it in a manner that we can understand. He's descaling it and is bringing it down to a level that we can understand. So that's how you should take these statements that are made about the sun and the moon. So Krishna is saying, the whole world, sun and the moon, darkness dissipates the whole world's darkness. It actually comes from me. The splendor of the moon and the splendor of the fire are also for me. I am the origin. So these are statements which we need to properly understand. Gama vishya bhutani dharayami aham ojasa pushnami chaushadi sarvaha somo bhutvo rasatmakaha. This is amazing. I enter into each planet and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. A very personal statement made very personally to Arjuna. Krishna is revealing, by the way, you know that I'm the one who holds all the planets in orbit. I enter the Gam Avishya. I enter the planet and I hold it in orbit. Otherwise, they'll all fall down, they'll fall down. I hold it in orbit. Dharayami. Dharaya means I am holding it. Aham ojasa. Pushnami, pushti means nourishment. Cha aushadhi sarvaha. All the herbs, aushadhis, I only energize them. Soma bhutvo rasatmaka hai. By moonshine, the vegetables get nourished. Does anybody know this? Actually, this is scope for great research. You may get a Nobel Prize. If somebody takes it up and actually connects the moonshine and shows how it nourishes the vegetables. I'm very sure this will be 100% true. And I can right now you can get the Nobel Prize. Because people don't know this. People don't know this. If you research it, you can very easily show this in some way or the other. I nourish through moonshine the vegetables. In the night, this is what's going on. The moon is not up there doing nothing. The moon is doing many things quietly, getting the vegetables ready for us. That's why if you grow vegetables in some lab and somewhere, it will never be nourishing. It'll actually never be nourishing. If you do all those artificial productions here and there inside a test tube, inside that, this, and grow the tissues, and it won't be having the same benefit. Because there are so many subtle energies working to make this world what it is and give us the right stuff to preserve our bodies and to help us to enjoy life. So enjoying it in the plan that Krishna used to design this will be aligning yourself with nature, with Krishna's plans. And that has got a certain momentum. And that momentum, you have to do very less work. You just jump onto that and just glide with it. Everything is already done for you. The moon is shining and nourishing the vegetables. You're not doing any work. You don't have to build a big refrigeration plant and shove all the vegetables inside and cool them up or, puncture them with some other special additives and, think that it's not designed properly and mess up everything together. If you follow the plan of the Lord, everything you want and more is there. Here it's mentioned, I supply the juice of life to all vegetables. There is a certain subtle thing that is added to everything, that touch of the Lord. Only a devotee can feel that. And if you remove that touch of the Lord and artificially try to prepare things, they don't benefit you at all. In fact, they create problems for you. Vegetables are being re-engineered. You know that. Every vegetable is being re-engineered, being mutated and genetically mutated and changed, and seeds are being manufactured artificially. And the whole movement is to remove the natural seeds so that food will come under the hands of a few producers of seeds. And they can control human society because everybody needs food. And food is coming from these magic seeds which Krishna has created, right? And the control is with him. So many of these people want to take that control away naturally that's available in nature. And in fact, they've been working hard to remove natural seeds completely. And all these things are artificial seeds products. You get a tomato that will last on the shelf for 2 months without rotting. But God produces a tomato which rots in 2 days. Can't you see it? We guys are better. We guys are better. Only problem is after 100 years, they'll find out that, wow, that tomato created this type of a problem. And this guy got that type of a cancer and this happened and that happened. And you'll get to know very late because it doesn't have the touch of the Lord, which is supposed to be there. Tender, affectionate touch. My dear child, I made this for you. Gama Vishya Bhutani, Pushnami Aushadhi Sarvaha Somabhutvo Rasatmakaha. This is a special touch of mine, it will nourish you. If you take away that from the father to the son, from the mother to the child, then the child will be growing in a funny way. He'll have problems. So vegetables are nourished, you must know, and they're nourished for your sake and my sake. Personally by the Lord. It's spoken here. by Krishna very personally. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashitah Prana Samayuktah Pachami Annam Chaturvidham. I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the 4 kinds of foodstuff. You want to know what are the 4 kinds of foodstuff? Who knows the 4 kinds of foodstuff? If you're a good eater, you'll definitely know. And don't try to be very innocent, since I said you're a good eater. What are the 4 types of foodstuff?
Maharaj, one is chewing, one is swallowing,
Drinking.
one is just drinking, yes.
You got it. You're an experienced lady. And the other one is licking. Sucking, licking, drinking, swallowing. You know, we very naturally do this. We're not really thinking about it much. But for each of that, you have one type of food. And it tastes good when you do that. If you lick it up, it tastes best for that type of food. Right? You should drink up. Of course, in the Western world, they will say, you know, grammatically correct. I was told in my English class many days. What do you do with soup? Do you drink your soup? Do you eat your soup? Do you lick your soup, or do you swallow your soup? And I was told the right English is eat your soup.
Drink your soup.
It's eat your soup. It's the right opposite of what's being spoken here. I mean, who the hell cares whether it is eat or drink? When I consume it, I will naturally tend to do the stuff that I need to do. I will drink it and I will enjoy it and taste it. I can't drink a mango. I have to eat it. I have to suck it, you know, I have to juice it and eat it. So food is designed according to these 4 things that you do with your tongue and your mouth and your palate. Fruits are like that. If you eat a sugar cane, you actually chew it. You actually chew and suck the juice and spit out the, you know, what do you call that? The waste. You suck it and taking the juice, and there's a way you can taste it. There's a way you can taste it. Even today, I want to eat a sugar cane. I'm thrilled eating it myself, biting it off the teeth. And you can see a picture of Prabhupada sitting like this and holding a long sugar cane and biting it somewhere in our farm in Hyderabad. He was doing it when he was 70 years old. He was eating. He said, that's the way to eat it. That's real pleasure eating it. So there are ways of doing it because we are designed that way, and Krishna has created food that way. And you can't go and twiddle that, you know. You don't make a tomato this big. Like, I think a few days back, they bought me a guava this big. I said, this is not a guava. I'm sure it's not a guava. I said, Maharaj, it is big one. It's got very less seeds in it. You know, normally when you eat a guava, you get all these tough seeds and your teeth will break off sometimes. I said, avoid it. They have inflated it with some chemicals or whatever it is. And I said that it doesn't have the guava taste. As I ate a big slice of it, it doesn't have the guava taste, because in your mind, you're expecting the guava, and when you eat it, it's not the guava. It's just a lot of stuff to chew. Then I said, this is not guava. You know, the small ones that you get with red stuff inside? I don't mind the seeds. It tastes so good. So they take off the real quality. The real dharma of guava is lost. Why it is becoming a guava, that they take away, and they give you a massive thing because they can sell more, get more money, more number of kgs. Tomatoes, you know, these big tomatoes. And if you cut the tomatoes, the juice won't fall off from the slice of tomato. The juice will stay inside. Why? Because for sandwiches and everything, you know, McDonald's, and they need a big slice of a tomato to put it on top there. It looks good. And you can take a good picture of it and market it very well. And people will buy it. So they changed the whole tomato. They made the tomato this big and then, slice it and put inside. But finally, it doesn't taste like a tomato anymore. I remember in my younger days, my mom was cooking up something nice, some sambar and some this and that. The smell of dal will come through it and say, wow, it's appetizing. Here I go for lunch. It's a Sunday and I'm going to really eat it out because you can smell it. But nowadays, a big program we have, we're cooking for 1,000 people. I don't smell anything. I smell most of the stuff. It doesn't smell, the rice doesn't smell, the dal doesn't smell, the vegetables don't smell at all. They don't smell. There's just some masala smell comes. But I remember very well in my younger days that all these things just smell. Just my mom would be boiling up the rice in a special this thing, it smells all along and you get appetized. So today, because of not being God conscious, not factoring in the hand of Krishna, who is so affectionately touching everything for us to nourish us, bring us closer to him, that is taken away. That's taken away. That's why I heard they said that you're not eating food, you're eating food product, they told me. I thought, wow, that makes sense. They said they've taken the food into the factory and they twiddled it and they're giving it to you so that it'll make profits for them, so the economy runs well. So you're not eating food that comes off the ground. You're actually, it goes to the factory and then comes back to you. Or they've actually twiddled it already, tweaked it already. So these are dangerous things. From this we can understand, Krishna is saying amazing things. Pachami annam chaturvidam. I have designed food for you. You can suck it, eat it, drink it, lick it, swallow it. My mouth is already watering, thinking about this is how Krishna has done all these things for us. Your mom can cook up a big feast out in the kitchen and nobody can compare with that. No restaurant, no other cooking can compare with that. I remember right from my younger days that nothing compares with that. Even if she cooks up a simple bit of things, she says, okay, come on, all of you, let's take dinner, let's take lunch. And everybody makes a beeline there and waits with their plates and, they all sit together and it's fun eating together and eating up from each other's plate and shouting and bawling out a little bit and eating more than necessary. And there is a certain way, pachami annam chaturvidam. There is a certain thing that happens when you eat off from your mom's hands in the kitchen and with the people and natural stuff. It's highly nourishing, not only to the body, physical body, to the mind, to the intellect, to the soul, especially if you're eating prasadam. So there's a whole design to the living. And one aspect of it is the fact that Krishna has put this in place. And then he's saying, in case you're not able to digest, although I've done it so well with my touch, everything, I have aham vaishvanaro bhutva. I'll take care of it in the stomach because I am the fire of digestion. Right? Just in case you have a problem and all this nice design of stuff with the tomatoes and the cucumbers and other vegetables that have touched up, they go inside and create another problem for you. I'll sort it out because why? I am the fire of digestion in the stomach. Vaishvanara. Anala means fire. Vaishvanara means the fire of digestion. Many people have problems. They don't digest the food that they eat. The tongue is wanting a lot of stuff, but the stomach cannot, digest everything that you eat. But Krishna, if you're a Krishna devotee, Krishna is saying, all the prasadam that you gobble up, I'll digest it in the tummy. Why? Because it is in line, right? And all those different types of foods that you eat, I will also digest that. Look at the arrangement Krishna has made, right up to being in your tummy as fire of digestion. Such a laborious arrangement, creation is. Then Krishna goes up and says, what to speak about all these things? I am also situated in your heart. The connection between God and you is very intimate. And it is physical, it is mental, it's intellectual, it is spiritual, it is devotional. You name it, all sorts of connections. And that is being expounded here very nicely by Krishna himself. We must pay heed to this. We should do that very carefully also. We should not take that lightly. We should not take that lightly, right? So let me show you that. Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Vedaischa sarver ahame vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva cha aham. Okay, please read, Priya. Go ahead, Priya, read.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas.
Thank you, Priya. So, Krishna is further stating, Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannivishta. Hridi means hridaya, your heart. Sarvasya cha means in everyone's heart. Cha aham means I. Personally, I am situated in everyone's heart. Just remember this. While you're sitting here on the screen, you should be conscious of the fact that Krishna is situated in your heart right now. When we are talking about his statement that he's situated in everybody's heart, he's situated in your heart. And he is conscious of the fact that you are reading this. Just imagine that. It's not that he's too far away. He's right here. And he's situated in everyone's heart, all of us together. Everybody's heart is situated. Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannivishta. And what happens from there? Mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Apohanam means forgetfulness. Jnanam means knowledge. Mattah means remembrance. Smriti means remembrance. Mattah means from me. From me comes smriti jnanam apohanam. Remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. From me in the heart, it comes. If you want to remember me, I will make it possible for you. If you want to forget me, I'll make that possible for you. That is smriti and apohanam. And if you want knowledge about something, I'll give it to you. Right? So if Krishna from the heart doesn't tick, then whatever you read, whatever you understand, whichever great tuition you go to, it will not click. You will not understand it. You simply won't understand it. That's why some very great personalities have acknowledged the fact that I don't think it is me alone who has clicked this understanding. They talk about inspiration. If you read about, who's that guy who discovered the benzene ring, Ukulele, something, his name goes Ukelele or something. Anybody remembers that, his name? No. His name is something like that. He was trying to figure out what is the structure of that C6H6 is benzene. If you know organic chemistry, some of you may have done. That C6H6 ring, he was trying to see whether it was circular, it was, square, it was what it is, he did not know. Then he dreamt, was trying to crack it so much, he was like tensed and was frustrated. And he just slept off a little bit. When he slept off, he saw a snake turning around and biting its tail. in his dream. And he saw it taking a shape like a hexagon. Immediately he got up and yelled and screamed, said, that's it, it's an hexagon. And he drew it immediately, and then he did his experiments and observed and found it is true. So he was wondering, who told me this? How did I click this? And he was very honest. He said, actually, it's not me. Because I was trying to crack it. It never happened for so long. But all of a sudden, who came like this and showed it to me? This is what it is. It's not me. It came from out, or it came from inside somewhere. And he gave this as an example of inspiration. And also, you know, that famous composer, what's his name, who went deaf, that guy, what's his name? Not Bach. Who's that other famous composer? Music composer. Not Chopin. One more famous guy. You don't know? Anybody knows? Music composer. You don't know?
Mozart?
Yeah, Mozart. Thank you. He was going deaf or something, you know, towards the end of his life. But he was deaf and he was composing some of the best music. Even today, they don't know how he did it. And he said, I'm inspired. And he was completely deaf, and he was able to compose the music. I mean, whatever he's playing, he can't hear it, but he's doing it. So these are all examples of, I give you inspiration from the heart. Then there are amazing amount of tales about these things. Honest people have agreed that, like I said, the ukulele benzene ring, he said that it's not me, actually, it's something happened and it came to me. It's a divine inspiration, he said. So when you actually become a little God conscious and a little sensible, you can actually connect. Like this guy, the scientist, you connected and said, it's not me, it's inspiration. So Krishna is revealing that I become inspiration for you by sitting in the heart. And many, many times, in fact, all the times, it's like that. But we tend to take credit for it. We will never give credit to the Paramatma in the heart. But devotees of the Lord tend to give credit because they know it's true. They know it's true that Krishna is inspiring. So that's an important statement that Krishna is making here. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Vedaischa sarve ahameva vedyo. Vedyo means to be known. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Vedanta krit, I am the one who wrote it. Veda vid, I am the one who knows it. Veda vid eva cha aham, I am the one who knows it. I am the one who wrote it. And the purpose is that by reading the Vedas, you should get to know me. Here is Prabhupada stating that from the purport. Please read that Mahalila. Yeah, can you see that now?
Yes, Maharaj. Therefore, the purpose of the Vedas is to understand Krishna. The Vedas give us direction by which to understand Krishna and the process of realizing him. Srila Prabhupada.
Yes. So, the purpose of the Veda is to get to know the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Veda is to sarver aham eva vedya. Because he wrote it as Vyasadeva, he compiled it, and he knows the purpose behind it is to introduce himself to you. So that's a real purpose. And in the Bhagavad Gita, that same person, that Bhagavan who wrote it, is coming and saying it. Veda is to sarvera hameva vedya. And he's revealing himself directly in Bhagavad Gita. If you know Bhagavad Gita, you know the Vedas. That's it. Because the Bhagavad Gita is the essence. Sarvo Upanishado Gavo Dogda Gopalanandana Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gita Mritam Mahat. That the essence of the Vedas is contained in the Upanishads, and the Upanishads, if they all represented as a cow, Krishna is milking that cow, and the milk is the essence of the whole Vedas. That is being fed to Arjuna, Dugdam Gita Amritam, and he's drinking it. So the whole Bhagavad Gita is the essence of the Vedic literature of the Upanishads. That's why it's called Gita Upanishad. That essence is being drunk by Arjuna and is being milked out by Krishna. And it's the same Krishna telling you, if you understand the Bhagavad Gita, you understood the Vedas. And the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is directly saying, you must become my devotee. You must surrender to me. You must establish a loving relationship with me in Bhakti. That's the goal of life. And everything you want, you will get from that. Okay? So, Om Tat Sat. Think about this. Read this purport of text 15. Very important. Very, very important sloka. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. And I'm sure that you will be enlightened. Om Tat Sat. Any question or comment? Today you learnt about the Vedas and how the essence is knowing Krishna. You heard about how Krishna is situated in your heart, and from him comes knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. You heard about how Krishna gives a touch of himself in many aspects in material nature. With you interact with that, like vegetables, the sun, the moon, the planets in space, and everything. Krishna is directly influencing, touching, and being involved in it. It's in our interest to see everything in connection with Krishna, and we will become richer inside. Our life will become more enriched, and we will only benefit immensely. Okay? So you learned all these things. Any questions?